But my mindset was career, career, career. When I met Charlie, the only reason I sat down with him because I thought it was a consulting position for work. I did not date in Manhattan. I saw the pits of hell of the dating pool through my roommates, and I was not touching that with any longest pole you can imagine. I stayed far away from the dating pool in Manhattan. So I viewed it as obviously the job interview that it was supposed to be. And the Lord knew. Charlie, in some way, similar to how, he sees things in a lot of people, in some way, beautifully saved me from a huge mistake of putting career over family and career over husband, because it's easy to do when, as a female, when you see bright lights, big city, but the Lord used him. The Lord used him for me.
How long did it take you to fall in love with him?
That's the funny thing is it's so interesting because when we were sitting there, I fell in love with how brilliant he was to be able to articulate what he believed in. And when he said, "I'm not going to hire you, I'm going to date you," I knew that was the Lord, because there were so many times where I said, my future husband that's out there, it will be, the only reason why I look up is because the Lord says to look up, and that was something to look up to when someone's like, "I'm going to date you." And so but honestly, it was the constant consistency of, "I'm here for you." The little texts in the morning, and then it just continued to grow in a beautiful way. So yes, love at first sight, yes, obviously, but my mindset wasn't there. His was. Yeah. So you think of it, you're in an interview, you have to totally do a 180 of a mindset. But I honestly, where the depths of the love started was when we were playing basketball together at the gym, just shooting around together.
By the time we saw that video where he introduced you as his fiance, and the two of you were staring at each other.
Oh, I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed with him.
Could not break your gaze. I mean, that's, I think, as the kids would say, #goals for virtually everybody who wants love in their life. So you did get married.
Yes.
You have 2 kids.
2 precious babies.
And you told me this in private, but how many kids did you guys want to have?
We wanted to have 4. Yeah. And I was praying to God that I was pregnant when he got murdered.
Oh, wow. I thought of that once. Just like whether it was meant to be or whether we'd get news like that.
I was like, oh, goodness, that would be the ultimate blessing out of this catastrophe. So now when I see young couples, I tell them, please, don't put it off. Especially if you're a young woman, don't put it off. You can always have a career. You can always, go back to work. You can never just go back to having children. And they grow so fast and so quickly, but I was praying. Both of us were. We were really excited to just expand our family.
Thank God you have the 2.
I know.
Thank God.
Boy and girl. I know.
One day they'll find out. Right now they're just, little loves, and one day they'll find out that they're Charlie Kirk's children, and they'll know what that means. So I wanted to ask you, Erika, because you are so faithful, whether you had any premonition that something was going to happen to Charlie. 'Cause I really do see you as connected, more so than the rest of us, to God. And I just wondered, did you have any sort of a feeling?
The thing is that I guess we just operate differently. We always knew there were threats. We always knew that there were people out there that hated us with deep, deep passion of hate. But it didn't scare us. Never. He was never afraid of that. Neither was I. Obviously, we protect our children. We don't show their faces on the internet, so that's very intentional. But I think we lived our life in such a way where if that was our last day, it was our last day. Like, we always lived as if it was the last day. That's why Charlie's speeches were so good, because he didn't know if that was going to be his last speech. And he was so intentional about every word. Every word had a meaning, and every speech had a connection point for the students and for whoever he was speaking to. And that's why he never missed the opportunity to weave the gospel into what he was saying.
Yes, that's what made him so much more powerful than the rest of us.
Yeah.
If you see the difference between Charlie Kirk and many of the right-wing pundits or commentators, it's that he supercharged the message that the rest of us were saying with biblical references, with faith-based wisdom, which made it 10 times more powerful. And people knew it, It's one of the things we're all missing right now.
But to answer your question, we always knew there were threats. We always knew that could be a possibility. But obviously, but we never lived in fear of when that day would be. We just trusted the Lord every day.
Now, of course, in the wake of Charlie's death, many are living under threat. I mean, the nutcases have gotten very loud and emboldened. And I just wonder whether it was the kind of threat like environment that you needed to actually worry that something could happen, or was it just the din of there are haters out there? You get these nutcase letters sometimes, Was it something like, no, it's actually getting really serious and we need to worry, or was it just the din of
No, you would see, obviously, leading up to that, there was several shootings. There was several individuals with guns on campus. So you knew that the threat was there and things were starting to heat up. But again, it wasn't anything that, you would think any different.
Nothing acute.
No.
I know that the morning he died, he went back into your room. He had slept in your daughter's room because he got up in the middle of the night and she got up in the middle of the night. There was a switcheroo.
Snacks.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
But he came back into your room and he got his necklace and he got his wedding ring,
In the
right?
morning.
And his necklace had a cross on it and it had St. Michael's medal.
Yeah, I wear it every day. It's right here.
Wow. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And Erika, help me understand. I genuinely don't understand. I've asked Frank Turek this. I've asked everyone I can ask this question. I don't understand how you can be wearing your cross and your St. Michael's medal and be shot to death. I feel, as Charlie felt, that's armor. Mm-hmm. We wear that to protect us, and we believe God will protect us. How have you squared that?
The Lord is so powerful, and we're not meant to understand all of his ways. But there's mercy in that, knowing that God uses evil for good. I don't know what exactly that is, but I do know that the Lord will use it, and if that means revival, the Lord... I told people, I said, I have never found more comfort in the statement, "Thy will be done."
Explain that. Why?
Because it shows that control is an absolute illusion. The Lord knows the number of hairs on our head, and he knows the number of our days. And that's why Charlie was so intentional of making sure everyone knew that their role in life was so important, and that you guys are all the missing puzzle piece to